Just wanted to get you going with a little flow practice to open up your hips this morning, kind of focusing on our second chakra, which is our pelvic area. So this chakra is really critical um, for how we um, attach ourselves or find and discover what we um, enjoy about life, the zest of life. And so our creativity is based here. Creation obviously comes from here. The element is water. And so I like to do a flowing practice to get the hips woken up. And especially since it's early in the morning, it'll be pretty gentle, but also just kind of get the body moving a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and get started on the mat here. And we're going to sit in a cross-legged position. So we want to sit up nice and tall and connect the sits bones into the mat. Oh, let me start my, okay. We want our sits bones connected in to the mat or the earth. We want to lengthen the spine up towards the ceiling or the sky. We can place our hands in our lap. We can place our palms down on our thighs. Maybe you're feeling a little more receptive this morning. You could actually flip the hands so the palms face the ceiling or the sky. Just begin to lengthen your inhales and exhales here. And maybe you're still kind of waking up this morning. So I just encourage you to maybe be observant of how your body is feeling this morning and throughout your practice today. I encourage you to send some love and some breath to any areas of the body that feel tight and show yourself some compassion, especially with an early morning practice. Your body doesn't move the same way it does in the evening. So just kind of keep that in mind and try to release any judgment you might have about how your body is moving this morning. Take a few more breaths here. And then we'll go ahead and come on to, oh, actually first before we move to all fours, we're going to do a little Kundalini spiral action. We're going to kind of open up the energy at the base of the spine and move it up to the crown of the head. So to do this, we place our hands on our knees and we inhale, we bring the torso forward. And then we exhale as we pull the belly button back and round the back. So inhale to come forward, exhale to come back. One more time. And then we'll come back to center, and then we'll switch directions. So inhale forward, exhale back. And then we'll come to all fours here. Wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. And we'll just do a few rounds of cat-cow. So we'll inhale the forehead and the tailbone up. And then exhale and pull the belly button back towards the spine. Inhale to come up. Exhale to pull back. Inhale to come up. Exhale to pull back. One more time. And then we'll just kind of do some hip circles. So we want all 10 toes and the tops of the feet flat on the mat. And we're just going to bring our tush back towards our heels and then inhale, come forward. So we'll make an oval shape with our torso. Then we'll switch directions. Inhale forward, exhale back. And then we'll come back to center. And we just want to wake up our abdominals a little bit here. So we'll bring the right fingertips out in front of us. The left toes are back behind us. We'll take an inhale and lift the right arm up alongside the right ear. And then exhale, lift the left foot up off the mat. Press through that back left heel. And we'll exhale everything back down. And then we'll switch sides. So left fingertips out in front, right toes back behind us. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, lift the right foot back. Press through the right heel as you reach through the left fingertips. Then exhale, come back down. And we'll do each side one more time, holding a little bit longer. So right fingertips out in front, left toes back behind us. Inhale, lift the arm and the leg up. Pull the belly button in towards the spine if you're feeling a little wobbly. Press the right shin and foot down into the mat. Then you can release everything back down. Left fingertips out in front, right toes back. Inhale, lift everything up. Exhale, back down. And then we'll lower into a child's pose. So you can keep the shins together and lower the torso down, or you can keep the big toes touching, widen the knees, and lower the torso down. You want your tailbone reaching towards your heels. We're going to reach the hands out in front of us. Keep the elbows lifted. And we'll inhale, we'll come back up. And then we're going to go ahead and step the feet in between the hands. And we'll hang here like a rag doll. Maybe you can grab the elbows Allow the neck and the top of the head to lengthen towards the mat. Feel free to bend your knees here if your hamstrings are tight this morning. And then you can switch the clasp of your elbows. And then we'll go ahead and bend the knees, and then we'll inhale and sweep the arms up towards the sky, and exhale the hands to heart center. So we'll go ahead and step up to the top of our mats with our feet hip width apart, and we're gonna go ahead and begin our sun salutations here. So we'll inhale and sweep the arms up, palms touch above our heads. Exhale, fold forward. Feel free to bend the knees here. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. If you need to rest your hands on your shins, make sure you do it on the sides and not in the front because you don't want to hyperextend your knees. And then we're going to exhale and we're going to lower down to tabletop and then drop the torso all the way down to the mat. We want all 10 toes touching the mat. We want our tailbone pulled towards our heels, and we want to inhale up into cobra with just our torso. And then exhale, come back into downward facing dog. Then we'll step the feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around. Exhale the hands to heart center. So we're going to do that 4 more times. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, lower down to tabletop. And then all the way to the mat. Pull the tailbone towards the heels. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal the feet out here. You want your weight even between your hands and your feet. You want most of the weight in your hands to be between your index finger and your thumb. And you can step the feet up in between the hands. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around. Exhale the hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway. Exhale, lower down to tabletop, and then all the way to the mat. All 10 toes touching the mat, pressing into the mat, tailbone reaching towards the heels. Inhale the torso up to cobra. Then exhale back to downward facing dog. Feel free to bend your knees here if your hamstrings are still pretty tight. And maybe notice if judgment comes up, can you replace it with gratitude for being able to practice instead? Then we'll step the feet up in between the hands. Inhale the torso halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around. Exhale the hands to heart center. We've got 2 more here, so we'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, lower down to tabletop or chaturanga, all the way to the mat. Inhale, up to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, pull the hips back to downward facing dog. Make sure you're firming the upper arms in towards your ears. Then we'll step the feet up in between the hands. Lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around. Exhale the hands to heart center. And one more round. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, lower down to tabletop or chaturanga. Inhale, lift the torso into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Step the feet in between the hands. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around. Exhale the hands to heart center. So we'll take a couple breaths here. Make sure your weight's even between all four corners of the feet. Maybe rock a little bit to kind of gauge where your balance is this morning. And then come back to a still position. And we'll just do a little bit of resilience breathing here. So we'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale out the mouth. And then the last two, we're going to do a mantra here. So we'll inhale, sweep the arms up. And then on the exhale, we'll repeat, I create. So inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, I create. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, I create. And just take a few more breaths here. And then we'll do a couple rounds of our sun salutation B, or just, just a couple rounds. So for sun salutation B, we're going to inhale and we're going to lower our hips into chair pose. Make sure you can see your toes. So don't have your knees so far forward. And then we'll sweep the arms up alongside the ears. Lift the toes to make sure you're really connecting into those heels. Pull the tailbone down towards the mat to lengthen the low back. Then exhale and fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway. Exhale, lower down to tabletop or chaturanga to the mat. Place all 10 toes on the mat. Inhale up to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, pull back to downward facing dog. Then we'll inhale, lift the right foot a couple feet off the mat, and then exhale, place it in between the hands. We're going to lower the left knee back behind us. If you feel pretty wobbly this morning, you can leave your hands here or place them on some blocks. You can bring your hands up to your knee, your bent knee. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Press the left shin and the left toes flat on the mat. That should help with stability. And if you want a little deeper stretch and you feel pretty stable, you can bring your arms up alongside the ears. Then we'll exhale, place the hands down around the foot. You can move that right foot back. We'll move back into downward facing dog. Then we'll lift the left foot a couple feet off the mat. Exhale, place it in between the hands. Lower that back right knee and the shin and the top of the foot. Again, if you feel pretty wobbly this morning, just keep your hands down here. You're still getting a great stretch in that hip flexor on the right side. If you feel pretty stable, you can bring your hands up to your left knee. You can also bring your arms up alongside the ears. Make sure you're plugging your shoulder blades down your back. Then exhale, you can place your hands down on either side of the foot. Bring your left foot back next to your right. And then we'll lower into child's pose just briefly here. Take a few breaths. And we'll come back up into downward facing dog. Then we'll step the feet up in between the hands. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Then we're going to actually lower the hips into chair pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Take a couple breaths here. And then we'll stand all the way up, lower the hands down by the sides. And then we'll go ahead and lower back into our tabletop position. We're going to come up into downward facing dog. Then we're going to inhale, pick the right foot up off the mat. Exhale, bring it in between the hands. Again, you can stay here with your hands on the mat or on blocks or books. Otherwise, we're going to bring our hands up to our bent right knee. We really want to press through the left heel. Excuse me. So we really want that left leg engaged. Maybe you bring your arms up alongside your ears. You can also, if this hip flexor is pretty tight, you can lean the torso forward. You don't have to crank yourself all the way back here in crescent. You want your ankle tracking underneath your right knee too. Then exhale, place the hands down on either side of the foot. Step back to downward facing dog. Then we're going to inhale, pick up the left foot off the mat 2 to 3 feet. Exhale, place it in between the hands. Again, feel free to stay down here if you need it. Otherwise, we're going to come up with our hands on our bent left knee. So this time we're pressing, really engaging that right leg, pressing out the right heel. We've got our left ankle tracking underneath our left knee. Maybe you can bring your arms up alongside your ears. Then we'll exhale, fold the hands down on either side. You can step back and then lower into child's pose if you need it, or into downward facing dog. We'll pick up the right foot 2 to 3 feet off the mat, place it in between the hands. Then we're going to rotate that left foot down so it's not quite 45 degrees. We want our left toes coming in towards our right foot. We're going to windmill the arms up into warrior 2. So we want to make sure our right knee is tracking above that right ankle. We've got our arms lifted into a T. We've got our weight evenly distributed between both of our feet. Then we're going to flip that right palm to face the sky and reach back in reverse warrior. Then we'll inhale, come back up to center, straighten the right knee. Go ahead and step the feet in between, together in the middle of the mat. Feel free to give your legs a shake, and then we'll step back out. This time we're going to move the right heel away from us, lift our left toes, rotate them out. Then we're going to bend that left knee. Inhale, lift the arms up to a T. Spread wide across the collarbone. Gaze down that second finger, that middle finger. Remember to breathe here. Make sure your weight is even between both of your feet. Then we'll flip the left palm to face the sky and reach back in reverse warrior. You can lightly place the right fingertips on the leg. Just avoid the knee area. Then we'll inhale, come back up with our arms in a T. Go ahead and straighten that left knee. Come back to center here, feet together. And we'll take just a little side stretch here, over to the right. Lift our left arm up alongside our left ear. Maybe look up towards the sky. Then we'll inhale, come back to center. And then we'll sweep the right arm up alongside the right ear. Inhale, lean to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Then we'll go ahead and we'll take a seat on our mat. We'll put the feet out in front of us. And then we're going to take the right foot and we're going to cross it over our left leg. And we're going to wrap that left leg behind us. So if you've got tightness in your low back or you can't get both of your sits bones to connect to the mat in this position, you want to actually keep your left foot extended out in front of you. We're going to sit up nice and tall, take an inhale, and then exhale and twist to the right. So as you inhale, sit up a little taller. As you exhale, rotate a little more from the abdominals. Once you've gone as far as you can gaze over that right shoulder. Exhale, come forward. And then we'll switch sides here. So we'll place the left foot across the right leg. Again, feel free to keep your right leg extended here, or you can curl it back so your right heel is near your left butt cheek. You're going to inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, rotate to the left any amount. Maybe you can even place the right elbow outside the left knee with your hand facing towards the ceiling, your fingertips reaching towards the sky. Maybe you can gaze over your left shoulder. And then we'll inhale and come back to center. And we'll do a butterfly pose here. So soles of the feet together. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, fold forward any amount. You can maybe place the hands out in front of you. You could also give yourself a foot massage. So I believe it's in acupressure. The arches of the feet are actually connected to our spine. And I find that my arches tend to be tender quite a bit. And I think it's probably due to my scoliosis. So maybe give yourself a little love and kind of rub out some of those tender spots this morning. Our feet carry us through a lot throughout our day, and I think we probably don't show the appreciation to them that they kind of deserve. This pose in particular is really good for menstruation, especially if you've got any cramps. Just the light squeeze action that's going on here in the uterine area is just really helpful for our pelvis. And we'll go ahead and lay down in our Shavasana. So this is our corpse pose. So you want to, if you've got a pillow or a prop, a bolster, you could place that underneath your knees if your low back is tight, especially. And you're just going to lay down. It's also known as corpse pose. You want your hands out to the sides. Or if your shoulders and chest are really tight, you can actually lay with cactus or goalpost arms. So maybe try out a few different variations and see what your body is asking for this morning. Another option for if your low back is tight is to actually bring the feet up as wide as the mat and lean the knees in towards each other. So we're going to be here for just a few moments. Allow your body to sink into the mat. Continue breathing here. And this pose is really critical for helping to integrate our practice into every cell of our body. And some of us call it the most important pose. Then we'll inhale, roll over to our right side, and then bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. You can bring your hands together at heart center. I hope by adding some gentle movement to your practice this morning that you've really opened up your second chakra. And maybe I invite you to notice if you sense things a little differently today and maybe feel a little bit more open to expressing your creativity. The compassion, the light, and the love in me honors the compassion, the light, and the love in you. Thank you for practicing with me this morning. Namaste.